We are on Terumot Perek Chet, Mishnah Bet. In our last Mishnah, we learned in Perek Aleph Mishnah, Perek Chet Mishnah Aleph, we talked about a number of different cases where someone's eating Terumah, and they find out that they're no longer allowed to eat Terumah, or that they were never allowed to eat Terumah. So, for example, we had the case of an Eshet Kohen, where the woman was eating Terumah, and then she finds out her husband died or divorced her. Or the case of the Eved Kohen, the slave of the Kohen, where they come and tell you your master freed you. Or in another similar case, other cases, where he's eating Terumah, and they come and say, you're a Ben Grusha or Ben Chalutza. That's what the Mishnah says. He's eating Kohen Shayochel Terumah, and they tell him he's a Ben Grusha or Ben Chalutza. Okay, and we learned also there's a machloket. So he was not kosher, he was not really permitted, he's a halal, he's not allowed to eat Terumah. And similarly, we had another case where he finds out that he's a Baal Mum. And in the case of the Baal Mum, where he was not allowed to bring a korban, then everyone agrees that he's pasul. So now our Mishnah is going to be a continuation of that, and discuss what happens not if you had eaten and you have to pay back Karen v'chomesh. What if you're in the mamish in the middle of eating? Literally in the middle of eating. The kulam, all of them, says the Mishnah, shahita truma betoch piyem, if the truma is in their mouth, right? They're like drinking the truma coffee. Rabbi Lezer Omer yivlu'u. And they tell them they're chewing the bread, the pita, and they come and say, you're a halal. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. Your husband divorced you. Yivlu. Rabbi Lezer says, swallow. Rabbi Yoshua Omer, Rabbi Yeshua says, yiflotu. You should spit it out. Like, no, you can't eat it. Once you find out that you're not allowed to eat this, you have to spit it out. Okay, the real question is, what does the word v'kulam mean? All of these people, does it refer to, there's a machlokes, does it refer to Eshet Kohen and Eved Kohen, who were eating beheter? Everybody agrees that they were eating beheter until they had a shot heter. Or it also talks about a Ben Grusha and a Ben Chalutza. A person who's Ben Grusha and he's eating, he thinks that he's allowed to, but he didn't know that his status was really never permitted. So the Bartanura says, v'kulam, all these people, means Eved v'isha shachlu mitchila beheter. They ate originally beheter. V'ha'akam Rabbi Lezer the yivlu. In that case, Rabbi Lezer says yivlu, that they can swallow. Of a Ben Grusha or Ben Chalutza, but a Ben Grusha, Ben Chalutza, de me'olam lo achlu beheter. They were never ever permitted. They thought they were permitted, but they never had a heter. Modeh Rabbi Eliezer di yiflot. Rabbi Eliezer would admit in that case di yiflot. The only problem with the Bartanura's commentary, which he of course would agree with, is the word v'kulam, all of them, right? This v'kulam in Mishnah Bet. And in Mishnah Aleph, we were talking about a bunch of different people. Yes, the Isha, yes, the Eved, but we also talked about Ben Grusha or Ben Chalutza. So how does that refer to kulam? So we have a problem. On the other hand, the Kahati quotes other opinions that say no. The kulam refers to all of them. It refers to Eshet Kohen, Eved Kohen, Ben Grusha, and a Ben Chalutza. All of them, if they're in the middle of eating, then they continue to eat. So we have to understand the nature of the machloket. According to the Bartanura, the nature of the machloket is based on, did you eat beheter or not? So therefore, only the Eshet Kohen and the Eved Kohen, they were eating beheter, and now they come and tell them they had a time of permissibility. But if you say, according to the Kahati's opinion, according to, he quotes the Mishnah Bishona, that's talking also about Ben Grusha and Ben Chalutza, they were never allowed to drink the cup of coffee. They thought they were, here we are, they never allowed to drink the cup of coffee. They thought they were allowed to drink the cup of coffee, but they never were. So how can you say they can continue eating? So the Kahati explains that his understanding is if you're in the middle of chewing something, if I'm like literally in the middle of chewing, is it better for me to spit it out or better for me to swallow? What's more of a chilul kodesh? Of course you're not allowed to continue eating. You were never allowed to eat the truma. You thought you were. But what's better? So according to, if you say that the machloket v'kulam refers to all of them, the Isha, the Eved, the Ben Grusha, and Ben Chalutza, then their machloket continues on all of them, then Rabbi Yeshua says yivlu. Why? Because once laus, if it's chewed, once it's chewed, it's already considered half eating. So if you spit it out, that's bittul of truma. Whereas Rabbi Yeshua says, no, even though you chewed it, that you can still have hana, you can have the benefit of eating the truma, so it's better for you to spit it out. So it becomes much more a question of how eating and what the nature of chewing versus spitting out, as opposed to, did you eat beheter or not? Did you originally begin to consume the truma beheter? We'll continue. Amru lo nitmeit ta, v'nitmeit truma. If you're in the middle of chewing, he's in the middle of eating, and they say to him, you are tameh, you just became tameh, or the truma became tameh. Rabbi Eliezer omer yivla, Rabbi Yoshua omer yiflot. Similar machloket. So Rabbi Eliezer says you should swallow it, and Rabbi Yoshua says you should spit it out. Again, we paskin like Rabbi Yoshua. Okay, but if they come and say, Tameh hayita, utmeh hayita truma, not that you became tameh now while you're eating, but you were tameh, or the truma was tameh. Oh, no dashehu tevel, what you're eating, you find out what are you eating that for? It's tevel, or ma'aser rishon shalonit not trumato. Or what you're eating now is a ma'aser rishon that has truma in it, so you're not allowed to eat it. It's an isur, that's going to bring mita b'dei shamayim. U'ma'aser sheni v'hegdesh lo nifdu, or it's ma'aser sheni or hegdesh that were not redeemed. Oh, shetam tam pishpesh, or you tasted a bug. Pishpesh, sheretz. All right, kishamo lilinoto recho ma'us biyoter. It smells. It's disgusting. You're in the middle of eating, right? You eat your apple, and what's worse than seeing a hole in the apple? What's being nowhere in the apple? Half a worm. Disgusting. Okay? Tam pishpesh l'tochbiv. You tasted this bug in your mouth, then hareze you float. In all those cases, even though you have tevel or masharishon, you have truma in your mouth. Nonetheless, in all of those cases, you have to spit it out. Even Rabbi Eliezer admits that you should not swallow it. Okay, and that's especially if you have a bug in your mouth. That's disgusting. Okay, we'll stop here. If you have any comments or questions, as always, feel free to contact me at rspolter@gmail.com. We'll dedicate the learning of this Mishnah to the memory of my father, Harav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a good day.